Today, Deepak and I would be having a chat about books, TV series, movies, and especially movies made by Ram Gopal Verma. Yes, this podcast will have some good amount of English with Telugu అంటే ఆంగ్లంతో పాటు తెలుగు కూడా ఉంటది. సో తెలుగు తప్ప వేరే భాష ఇష్టపడిన వాళ్ళకి చెప్పేది ఏంటంటే పాజ్ చేయటము, యాప్ క్లోజ్ చేయటము అలాంటివి చేయకండి. వినండి. This is going to be a good one. To give a brief introduction of Deepak Karamungikar, he is an independent author who has written 6 books. Love at First Sight and Other Stories was his first book. The Humming was his second. Serendipity, a collection of short stories, which I recommended some 3 years back on Twitter, and followed by The Alternate, My Grandpa's a Gangster, and Incessant, which got printed in 2018. Almost 11 years back, I came across Deepak's works when I was working for a software company and I was on bench as I was not allocated to a project. In those days, Twitter was just gaining prominence, and I came across a link to his blog where he used to post his short stories. Those short stories were so captivating that I used to eagerly wait for the next one to be posted on his blog. And first things first, congratulations, Deepak. Deepak is now part of Hollywood, hopefully not
Thank you.
part of Jeffrey Epstein's cult.
No. Right. Thanks for a very elaborate introduction there, Krishna. Thank you.
I have this question because, of course, you have written so many, not a plethora of books, but you have some decent experience. So when it comes to, let's stick to, books for now, or for the matter, even movies. At least when it comes to the, Bharatiya culture, they say that, the every art, needs to have these 9 rasas, Navarasal antar kada. So
Yeah.
is it something that it is mandatory for every art to have this rasas? I'm not sure. I'm not a, a very good student of this Indian history or literature, but I'm just wondering because this Shungara, Veera, Karuna, Adbhuta, Hasya, Bhayanaka, Vibhatsa, Raudra, Shanta, and Rasalu, is it something that you try to keep it in even add or somewhat manage in your books, in your writings?
Yeah. So first thing is that it is not mandatory to have all of those in one work of art, and it's not even really possible. Only some very great works of art have featured all of these Navarasas. And see, many arts are not visual, like music, for example. You can't see music, but you can feel it, right? It is not exactly possible to, bring about those all 9 rasas or emotions, if you could call them that, into that one, tunnel. So depending upon what concept you have, depending upon, let's say, writing, for example, there is a story. You want to bring about certain emotions. The way I write stories is very simple. I focus on one very simple question. The question is, what will ordinary people do when they come across extraordinary circumstances? So, if you answer this question, you are a storyteller. If you're able to answer it effectively, you know, uh, put everything in a chronology, uh, have a protagonist, have an antagonist if possible, and then write it like his journey. And every protagonist needs to have uh, a goal to achieve. So that way the story will progress. So during this journey, it is possible and it is likely that you will embed many of those emotions that you mentioned, and at some point you will eventually do it. Whether you do it consciously or not is another question. No writer, I don't think there is any writer who will start with the objective of bringing in all those elements, but the end result will definitely have most of those elements in it. So that's the way I look at this.
Okay. So you have been into this writing, for how many years? When did you start writing? Can you give a brief history about yourself and how did you get into writing, about authoring books?
Yeah, so actually the way the way it started is that in the year 2008, after I got married, there was some problem with my job and I had to quit. And during that time, the big recession came and there were not many openings available in Hyderabad. But Time Institute, Time Institute, right? I used to work there earlier, but then in
Okay, for
2000,
cat.
yeah, CAT Training
Yeah.
Institute. I used to be a good quizzer in those days. So my skills as a faculty for general awareness and general knowledge were used. I mean, were came in handy, and I became a faculty there. And I used to teach classes part time, like morning, early morning, and then in the evening, sometimes in the afternoon. And during those days, I used to find a lot of time in between. I mean, there was a wife, and my wife was carrying with a child, and so there were some moments which were not, you know, which were hard at that time. So during that time, I had to find some way to, vent my, feelings. So I had some stories in my mind, but I never imagined I would be able to write them. But one day I read a blog post of one of my friends, Sumitra. I met her during one of the college debates during graduation. She told me that I should write. She was the one who actually said you should act. I mean, she wrote. She used to write stories, and I was very impressed with one of her stories. And I told her that. So then she said, she said, why don't you also try? So that happened many years before that. Then, yeah, years passed, and 2009 suddenly I realized I'm writing something on Blogger. Earlier, I used to write only comedy satirical pieces because I was very critical of certain things and there was no censor on my language and I was very crude at that time. But some people enjoyed my blog posts. They're still available if someone wants to read them. But during that time, I realized that instead of writing some blog post, random feelings or anything, why not just write a story? And write a story based on some things that happened. So there was this friend of mine, I will not name anyone, and he got cheated by a girl many years ago. And I know exactly how it went because I was listening to the whole thing. So that story came to my mind and I wrote it on my blog post.
I think that was the post which pulled me towards your blog.
Okay, I don't know where all those guys are and what they are doing right now, but that guy got cheated or something happened. I mean, I can't remember. I wrote more than 65 stories, short stories after that. But yeah, so that was the beginning. And then I got tremendous response on the blog. And people started liking. I mean, that those days there was no Facebook and all. I used to just send everyone. I still have a notepad, or I think it's on Google Docs or something. I have a page that has all the email IDs of all the people who have read my stories and commented. And I used to send them updates for every news story I used to write. And I used to get replies on that email and comments on the blog. See, it is always said that you should write for yourself and you should write for satisfaction. No, it's all bullshit. Every artist wants to write because they want to impress. Even recently, Arnav Ray, right, Great Bong, he also touched over this
Yeah,
point,
yeah.
and I so agree with him. He says that there is no artist in the world who will be satisfied with their own performance. You want an audience. Every artist wants an audience. If somebody says they are writing for themselves, that's bullshit. Everybody seeks out validation. Everybody seeks some kind of recognition. So that's how it started. I used to write short stories on blogs, and then slowly they became kind of popular. And then in between, and I started, why not start a separate blog for short stories? And I started this thing called stochastic chronology. At that time I just used wordweb and found out one synonym for anything that means random. Then I found the word stochastic, and chronology means order. So random order. That was the whole idea behind that blog, and that became immensely popular. And this is like
Yeah,
pre-Twitter,
yeah, I remember.
pre-Facebook days, and people used to comment. And you will not believe, in 2011, when I just got onto Facebook, I was at Kamath Hotel. Kamath Hotel near Paradise Crossroad, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That Kamath, I was just walking out with my friend. One guy came up to him and said, Boss, I'm on your Facebook friends list. His name was Santosh or something. I think he has left Facebook or whatever. And he told me, I met you on, I added you on Facebook after I read your blog. And I've read each of your stories, and your stories are awesome. So that was like the first, fan. You can't say fan. I'm not big enough to have fans yet, but that was like the first recognition. Those are the things that will inspire you to write more. So that way, then in 2010, I realized that I had written like 15, 16 stories by then. Every month I used to write one. 2010, I thought, okay, now it's time to get it published. Then I started looking for avenues where I could publish. Then going through the regular publication channel, finding an agent and all that was, it was a very long story. Then I had heard of self-publishing. So, and then I self-published. So that was how my first book came out. It was just a bunch of short stories that I had written on a blog. And the moment the book went in for print, I closed my blog. And yeah, that's how it is.
Okay, so your first book was a self-publishing one.
All my books are self-published. I did not
Oh,
wait for anyone to come back.
oh, and good to know because అంటే కొత్తగా స్టార్ట్ అయ్యే వాళ్ళకి what are the suggestions which you would like to share? Let's say that when some guy or who is in his mid 20s who wants to take a shot at writing, and then what are the precautions that he needs to have? అంటే not just financial or any other precautions, and the whole how he has to approach towards writing, or how to become an author or a novelist.
So yeah, first thing that you need to do to become a good writer is that you have to leave your ego aside. Okay. And see, I got educated at a Sainik Puri High School. That's my school. Okay, it's not very well known. It's not a HPS or Bhavans or whatever. Okay, it's a good school. Then after that, all other institutions that I attended were also. I mean, I English was just one subject to pass, right? I mean, there is no special training I took for writing, or neither did I do any literature course. So there will always be people who will tell you that your grammar is not right, and there will always be people who will say that there are spelling mistakes. Please take those advices. Please heed to those messages that you receive, and do not ever bring your ego in between and say that no, you are wrong. No, I am right. This is also right. Don't try to prove everyone wrong. Okay, that's a very bad habit that writers generally develop. If Because see, writing, no matter what, is an ancient art. Okay, there is a certain structure to stories. That structure has to be followed. Any piece of work, written piece of work, should have an emotional payoff at the end. It should either make you cry, it should either make you happy, it should make you laugh, or it should do something. That's why there are genres. If somebody writes a story that is pointless, then would you be interested in reading it? No, right? So that way, the whole audience, that is future audience of yours, that is going to read your books at some point, who are going to read your book at some point, they are all programmed like that. So if you are not giving them some impression, if you are not leaving an impression, then you are not making any point. And that begins at the very beginning, where people start giving you suggestions like, this is good, this is bad, and this spelling. I was pretty egoistic about accepting my mistakes in the beginning. So the people who know me very closely are pretty well aware. And in fact, this is the kind of arrogance that has cost me, few opportunities and few jobs also. But it is wrong. There is a time when things change. You learn over a time. You understand how things work. So whenever somebody is saying, now there are tools like Grammarly. If you want to write and put it in Grammarly, you can just get it corrected by an automated robot or something. Those days there was nothing like that. I used to speak to my friends, and I was in very good learned company because of my association with Time. I have some really good friends there, and some of my friends are really good at English. They were really good at English. They still are, obviously. And I used to take their advice and ask, every simple thing. In fact, I will not name anyone, but one of my colleagues at Time had told me that, Deepak, you have a problem. You are a very good storyteller, but your English has to improve. I'm telling you point blank because I like your stories. So that is the day when I bought some basic grammar books, sentence formation, structure books, and then I unlearned whatever I had to. and then I started, relearning. So the first advice is never take any comment or never take any compliment seriously, and always take all the criticism seriously. Because English and grammar, first of all, we do not come from a country. If you're Indian, right? Obviously, this is
Mm.
going to all Indians. If
Yeah,
we
yeah.
are from a country where English is not our first language, even if you get 100 out of 100, you will still not be able to use perspicuous in or any other word. I can't even pronounce it properly. So those kind of words, you will stay. You can't be Shashi Tharoor. So if your focus is on story, if you are very strong at plot points and telling a story, at least make sure that your English is at some acceptable level. There was a point, I'll tell you, I don't mind accepting this now. There was a point in Blogger, there used to be an option to write the subheading for the blog. I got
Yes.
so
Yeah.
frustrated with people telling me that my spellings and grammar was bad. The subheading I wrote on Blogger was, "This story may contain spelling mistakes and grammar mistakes. Please ignore them." This is what I wrote. And how stupid of me to even write that. Like 10 years back, now you think of it, it's funny.
When I was reading your short stories, one thing which has hit me was that you try to bring the local Hyderabad culture or the places mentioned like the Radfile bus stand or Bashirabad, all these things. I mean, I'm just picking up from my old memory. I don't remember the exact names which you have mentioned in your short stories, but
Yeah.
that's the flavor which you pick the Secunderabad or Hyderabad circle. ఎక్కడైతే మీరు అక్కడ పట్టుకుంటారో it just clicks me because in Ron I'm brought up in Hyderabad or in Secunderabad. I could relate to everything. This Gurmeet wines in I think Harihari Kalabhavan, all these things which got mentioned in your short stories. I think that's how I was very much impressed. And I have one question. Some of your stories are non-linear because it's like Tarantino, they go forward and backward. Was that a deliberate choice, or you felt that the story needs to be told in a non-linear fashion?
Okay. So now my opinion of linearity has changed from the time I had written those stories. And I'll tell you what I used to think at that time. I have always written all stories with the objective that they will be made into films someday. I never wanted to be an Oscar Wilde or O. Henry or even Kushwant Singh, my favorite writer. I don't want to be like them. I have always wanted to be a screenwriter. Consider all those short stories as different experiments which I, conducted to teach myself how to write for films. So in that process, obviously I've been watching movie using torrent since 2003. So I have by 2009 and 10 I had watched thousands and thousands of movies using those torrents and all. So that time I had realized that there is this technique where you can tell what happens later first and what happens first later, and then at some point those two things will converge and you will build a very good solid central base for the story to continue. But at that
Hmm.
time I used to write stories that were about under 5 or 6,000 words. So they were basically all short stories. I started writing longer versions and longer pieces much later. So at that time, my intention was to learn how to tell stories that will fit into a screen someday, probably. So, in terms of whether that was intentional, yes. To an extent, it was intentional. Could it have been avoided? Maybe, yeah. But I could have told that story simply. But where is the rule which says that you should not do it like that? There is no rule, right? So that's why I went ahead.
Because even in Mahabharata and Ramayana, sometimes they go to flashbacks and again they jump into the present. Think when it comes to Hollywood, the first impression which I got when when juxtaposed with this non-linear storytelling is Stanley Kubrick's The Killing, because it impressed me a lot. Then I realized that, oh yes, non-linear story narration can be sometimes very impressive when when followed with the linear storytelling.
Yeah, true. See, now, and I forgot to tell you about what I think about non-linearity now. So non-linearity, I in fact did a YouTube video also on this, how to about non-linear story structure and all that. Only if the story demands you should write it. You can't take everything and cut into different pieces and arrange them differently. That cannot be done. So there has to be a logic for it. So that if as long as you fit everything in with a certain logic, why should this happen before and why should this happen later? Then, and in fact, not even happen. When it happened is up to you, but how do you show it on screen is a different chapter altogether. So it is definitely a skill. In fact, it is a skill that is more difficult than writing the story itself.
So now we are going to discuss about films of Ram Gopal Varma, the great RGV.
Yeah, so when we say the films of Ram Gopal Verma, I would like to add a caveat here. We are talking only about the early Ram Gopal Verma. Early Ram Gopal Verma means before 2010, before I started writing. Because after that, he made such a huge mess. It is very difficult to get through all that. So let's only talk about the maverick Ram Gopal Verma, who we know as the genius filmmaker who once revolutionized, film industry.